The Flying Dutchman, also known as the Ghost Ship, is a legend that dates all the way back to the 17th century. It's the story of a ship that's doomed to sail the seas forever, never able to reach port. And it's said that if you see this ghost ship, then bad luck will befall you. But what's the truth behind this spooky legend? Is there any real history behind the myth? Or is it all just a bunch of superstitious nonsense? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. So the legend goes that the Flying Dutchman was a ship that was sailing from Amsterdam to Asia in the 1640s. But due to the heavy winds and dangerous waters, they had to take shelter in the Cape of Good Hope. But as they approached the shore, they saw that a storm was brewing, so they decided to stay out in the open sea instead. They dropped anchor and waited for the storm to pass, but it never did. For 7 days and 7 nights they were stuck at sea with dwindling supplies. Eventually they had no choice but to abandon ship and head to shore. Those who made it off the ship survived, but those who stayed behind were never seen again. And ever since then, the Flying Dutchman has been cursed to roam, the seas never being able to reach port. The first written account of the legend was in an 18th century book called The New Atlantis. But there are earlier accounts of similar legends from sailors who claim to have seen the ghost ship for themselves. One such sailor was George Shelvocke. He was an English navigator who sailed around the world in the 17th century. He claimed to have seen the ghost ship during his travels. Another sighting was reported by Dutch navigator Martin Freggio in 1790. He too claimed to have seen the ghost ship at the same spot where the original Flying Dutchman was said to have been lost. And over the years, many more sailors came forward with similar stories of seeing the ghost ship at the Cape of Good Hope. By the 19th century, the legend had taken on a life of its own, and people started to believe that the ship was a symbol of doom. If you saw it approaching, then it meant that a storm was coming. And if you saw it sailing away from you, then it meant that your ship was doomed to sink. This legend spread to other cultures as well. In China, Japan, and the Philippines, they believed that the ghost ship was a warning of death or misfortune. And in some versions of the legend, the ship is said to carry the souls of those who died on board. But why does this legend persist even today? Why do people still tell stories about the ghost ship? Well, there are a few possible explanations. One is that these sightings were simply the result of mass hysteria. People were so superstitious back then that they were willing to believe anything. And when one person claimed to see a ghost ship, everyone else assumed that they did too. Another explanation is that the sightings were actually of real ships that had been lost at sea. Back in the 17th century, navigation was difficult, and many ships did get lost. It's possible that some of the ghost ships that were described could have been real vessels that had been driven off course by storms or other natural disasters. Finally, some people believe that the legend is based on actual events involving the Flying Dutchman. After all, there is a record of a ship called the Flying Hearts being lost at the Cape of Good Hope in 1641. And it's possible that this event inspired the legend. Whatever the case may be, the legend of the Flying Dutchman has captured the imagination of people for centuries. It's been featured in movies like The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, books like The Curse of the Ghost Ship, and video games like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. No matter how you tell it, the story of the Flying Dutchman is sure to give you nightmares. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And you can also check us out on social media. Until next time, stay safe and beware of ghost ships.